On this episode, I'm joined by Darcy Geho, a marketing strategist who recently shifted her main focus from her marketing business over to her true passion, her lifestyle blog focused on natural living, food preservation, and healthy cooking. She launched her blog in 2018 and recently added an online shop featuring her handmade goat's milk soaps. She looks forward to growing her Preserving My Sanity brand while doing what she loves. She lives in Minnesota with her husband and their 2 dogs. You can get to know Darcy by visiting her website, www.preservingmysanity.com. Darcy shares how she's shifting her focus to make room for more fun and joy in her life. Sometimes it is so hard to pivot when you've spent a lot of time and energy building something only to realize it's not the right thing at this time. Darcy's discoveries are helpful to all of us as we learn to lean into our passion and truly listen to our inner voice when it comes to how we spend our time. Here's our conversation. I'd like to welcome Darcy Geho to the podcast. I am really excited to have this conversation with you today, Darcy.
Hi, Dawn. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited too.
So tell us a little bit more, because when I read your bio, it talks about a marketing business, it talks about a soap business. Tell us where this all came about.
Sure. Well, I have a lifestyle blog called Preserving My Sanity that I launched in 2018 as a side to my full-time job at the time, just as a hobby to share about food preservation and cooking and healthy living. And then in 2019, I ended up getting laid off from my job because our business closed. And I live in kind of a rural area that it's not super easy to find other jobs, to be honest. So I had the idea to start my own marketing business, Digital Darcy. So I did that in 2019. At the time, it never really crossed my mind to try to go full-time with my blog. Making money with blogs is definitely possible, but it's a little bit of a long game. And at the time, I just needed something that would be able to make me money relatively soon. So that's why I have 2 businesses. So with Digital Darcy, I've been helping small businesses with a variety of content marketing since 2019. And I still have my blog as well.
So the blog is still going.
Mm-hmm.
We can still find you. And what did you find as you were in the digital marketing space? Was there a point where you felt like, okay, I like doing this. This is great. It's giving me income, but I would like to do something on the side, or there's something more creative I'd like to do. What was it that propelled you to look at other options?
Yeah. Well, I had just gotten my business off the ground and secured my first clients actually when coronavirus hit. So I lost all of my clients really quickly and had to start over then. I secured some more clients and helped some people through COVID. And I guess somewhere along the way, I just started thinking about how tired I was. I was spending most of my days writing either blog posts or social media captions or a number of other things that I do. And it was just, I love my clients and I love writing and I love helping them, but I think the volume of what I was trying to do was just too much. And so I started just thinking about other ways I could make money that didn't involve writing for all of the hours of the day. So I tried to grow a marketing membership with a couple of niche audiences and put a lot of time and energy into that, and wasn't really getting that off the ground like I wanted to either. So I just kept saying yes to more writing work and just kept feeling tired about it, to be honest.
It's interesting to me. I know I came up through network marketing and built a business really, really large in a very short amount of time and reached the top 3% of our company. And I loved it. I loved the coaching of the other members of the team. I loved helping other people build their businesses. At some point, I started to think, okay, I'm feeling a little burnt out. I'm feeling a little like I've done everything, and not that I don't like it anymore. I still like it, but I feel like I need something that's just mine. That's just something that really lights me up. So it's interesting. I think a lot of women that I speak to have something that they've committed to, and they feel like once they're all in, it's their baby. It sucks their life 100% of the time. They fit their family around it. They fit the other parts of their life around it, but they're not fully passionate or really enjoying it like they did in the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's to a point what's happened with me as well. I mean, I don't want to call it burnout because I don't feel like I'm burnt out, but I am and what I am ready for a change, I think. So sort of what prompted me to realize that was I was still working on building the memberships, and someone said to me one day, well, when you talk about these, you don't really sound excited about it. You sound like it's just something else you have to deal with. Like, are you sure this is what you want to be doing? And of course, first I got defensive and I was like, well, yeah, I've spent all this time and money on trying to build these things. Yeah, of course that's what I want to do. And they're like, yeah, but is it really? And it wasn't. I realized that it wasn't. And I was putting a lot of energy into social media posting, and I actually have my Instagram account on pause right now on the marketing business side because yeah, I was spending all of my spare time and energy on doing the things that I thought I should be doing in my business. And it's for what? If it's not really what you want to be doing and you're not really seeing like these fabulous results from it, then why are you going to keep spending time on it? So that's something I've realized in the last few months.
I love hearing the recognition, like, and for sure the defensiveness I think is so interesting too, because we do, right? It's our baby. It's something we've created. And so we don't necessarily want to just give something up or stop something we're doing when somebody questions it. But I think often we get on this hamster wheel and we just keep doing and doing, and the days go by and we're not really fulfilled. We're not really even sure what the end result is supposed to be, or if we're even really heading in the direction that we want to be heading, because we're just so in the project, we're in the doing, we're in the moment. And sometimes it's just the stepping back and asking ourselves, like, is this where I should be right now? Is this the best use of my time? Is the best use of my energy? Is this what I want to be putting out? Is this how I want to serve? Right? It's asking all those questions. And I like that you were brave enough to say, yeah, no, this is not what I want to be doing.
Yeah, thank you. It was really hard, to be honest, because one of my largest pet peeves is wasted time. And anybody I work with knows that. So I'm always talking about how can we do this more efficiently, or how can we make sure this is what we should be spending our time on, or what's the most important thing. So wasted time is just like, I hate it. And so I think it was part of the process for me in giving up the membership idea that I had to remind myself that it wasn't wasted time, that I met people along the way in the networking I did for the memberships. I met people along the way and I learned things and I picked up skills and helped some people. And that process helped me figure out where I want to go from here. So it was important for me in like being able to give it up, to not look at it like wasted time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you're right. Everything that we do, it does benefit us in some way, shape, or form, even if we're not continuing on in it. Did you find as you were working through these things, was there a point where you had to realize like what you would enjoy more, or did you start looking again at your blog? Like, what was it that started to come to mind? Like, oh, I'd rather put some more energy into this rather than that.
Good question. Actually, speaking of like the way things happen and the path that we're on, I last fall, before I even was considering giving up the memberships or taking a step back from my marketing business or anything, I met a woman who makes goat's milk soap at a craft show. And I went home and I looked her up on Facebook just to look at her products and realized that she had a soap making class. It was like $19 or something. And she taught you on this live class everything you need to know about how to make soap. And it's something I'd always wanted to learn, but I was just afraid to try, to be honest. And so I signed up for the class and bought the supplies, and it was really fun. So I made a batch of soap and then I made a couple more. And then she had a monthly membership where she teaches you like different techniques and things each month. And so then I signed up for that. And before too long, we had like all this soap in our house. and so we only need so much soap. It's my husband and I in the house, and we have a couple of dogs, but we collectively only need so much soap. And so, I had a few friends and family I was sharing with, and people started asking me, when are you going to sell this? Or how can I buy some of this? And so that all was going on in the background. And then just a couple of months ago, I had a call with someone who asked me, and she's like, you don't really seem excited about what you're doing in your business. She said, what would you love to be doing? And I said, well, what I would love is if I could have my natural living blog be my full-time income and make soap and sell it and just have more fun. And so she said, well, why can't you? So that's where I'm at now. I mean, I'm still a marketing consultant and I'm still helping my clients, but I'm sort of revisiting the idea that maybe perhaps with a lot of work and stuff, at some point, my natural living blog can be what I do because it is what I love the most.
Hey, wonderful listeners. If you're an entrepreneur or a business owner like me, then you know the struggle of juggling a million tasks while trying to focus on what really matters. Well, guess what? I've got a game changer for you, and it's called Umbrella Virtual Solutions. You know those tasks that make you want to pull your hair out? The ones you'd rather avoid like the plague? Yep, Umbrella Virtual Solutions has got you covered. Need a killer website that'll make your competitors jealous? Boom, they're the web wizards you need. And let's talk about virtual events. Everyone loves attending them, but the behind the scenes madness? Not so much. Luckily, these experts are your event architects. They'll plan, set up, and run the whole shebang so you can shine in the spotlight without the tech headache. Now, here's the best part. If you're a fellow podcaster like yours truly, you know that editing can be a real audio nightmare. But fear not, because Umbrella Virtual Solutions are audio editing maestros. They'll transform your raw recordings into podcasting gold while you sip your coffee and relax. And hey, who wants to drown in emails and social media management? Not me. That's where Umbrella Virtual Solutions really shine. They love diving into the admin abyss, leaving you with a clean slate to focus on your passion projects. But hold on, there's more. These folks aren't just about ticking off tasks. They're your partners in business creation. Got a brilliant business, but no clue where to start? They will guide you through the process, turning your dreams into a reality. Do you know what they've done for me? They've given me back my time and peace of mind. Head over to UmbrellaVS.com and book a free strategy call. Say goodbye to overwhelm and hello to a whole lot of extra hours in your day. That's UmbrellaVS.com, where dreams become reality and tasks become history. Check them out and get ready to conquer the world one stress-free day at a time. This is an area where I think a lot of people get to in their lives, where whether they're working a corporate job, whether they're an entrepreneur, but often what we start out as is not what we continue on as, and is maybe that may not be what we finish as either, right? There might be multiple transitions. But I think, again, it can be so hard to, I guess, uproot in a way those initial efforts, because again, we've put time, we've put energy, we've put blood, sweat, and tears, right? All those things. And we often have great relationships within that first business that we've created, whether it's our clients, partners, whatever. And so it can be really hard to say, okay, I need to do something else, whether it's on the side of that business or instead of that business or whatever, but to recognize, like, I am capable of making a shift. It is okay if I change my mind and I want to do something that lights me up more right now. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So when like now in this transition time that you're in, what is it that you love to do the most? What is the parts of maybe both of the things that you're doing that you enjoy the most?
Well, I'm having fun making soap and learning more about making soap and what kinds of soap I'd like to make and other products possibly that I could make next. So that's been really fun and new. My husband does a lot of gardening. I help some with that part, but mostly what I enjoy is when the produce is ready, I do a lot of food preservation, canning, dehydrating, things like that. And I notice a pattern. A lot of people always say to me, "You do so much cool stuff. I wish I could do that." Or I've always wanted to learn how to do that, or I don't think that I could do that. So what encourages me and what I love about my preserving my sanity side is that people can do it too. There's not really anything complicated about canning food or dehydrating it or making kombucha. None of the things are hard necessarily. You just have to follow the directions and pay attention and put the time in. None of it's fast either, but anybody can learn how to do it. And so that's kind of the main I guess, theme of where I'm going with my blog is I just want to help people understand that they can do it too. I'm not some magic person who can do all these things. Like anybody can learn how to do something.
I think that's really true. I'm the same as you. Like I took a course on making kombucha. I took a course on making sourdough bread, like different things that really interested me and things that I would like to do, but never would have just dove in and done myself because I didn't understand the steps. I wanted to see it tangibly, somebody walking me through it. And so I think there's a lot of things out there that we maybe have interest in, or things that we naturally gravitate towards. And we don't consider the fact that those things could potentially be business options for us.
Absolutely. And it's new for me to even think about it in that way. I spent 9 years as a software consultant and trainer. And so I guess back to your previous question about what do I love the most? And whether we're talking about my marketing business or the food blog and soap shop, teaching people is really what I love the most. And I have the experience in doing it. I do love teaching people, and I'm excited to do more of that.
When you're talking about the things that you love as far as in the blog end of your world, and I mean, I'm assuming blogging is writing, right? And you also write in your other business, your marketing business. Is there a difference in the type of writing, in the way that you write? Is there a difference in the feel for you of sitting down to write?
Yes and no. I do have a marketing blog over on Digital Darcy, and I've tried to take the same approach there of taking marketing concepts and just explaining them for people who need to learn more about it. So my tone over there is pretty casual. My blog posts aren't very research based, so I just share what I know and what I think and offer why it's important on the marketing blogs that I do. And then on the food side too, most of what I write about are things that I know about. So friendly, casual, helpful is kind of my preferred writing tone for both sides, really.
If somebody's listening and they're thinking, like, I actually like writing, or I love journaling, or I love teaching, or like I love that end of things, and I would actually like to start a blog, I would like to be able to share my thoughts or my ideas or ways of doing things with people. Is it hard to get started blogging?
I would say no, it's not hard to get started. As with anything, there's different options for how you get started. It depends on your budget. There's some platforms that are better than others, some that are more user friendly, some that are more technical but may perform better in the long run. So like it depends on what your budget is and what your goals are. Even like if it's just a casual thing that you just want to do for maybe like yourself and sharing with your family or something, there's free options out there that you could get started for free or reasonably cheap. If you're looking at making it more of a business, then it might be more of an investment to get started. But either way, it's not hard to get started. It does take work, but it's not hard.
So one question I want to ask you, and I want to go off on this a little bit, but when it comes to the 3 Ps that we talk about on the podcast, which are people pleasing, perfectionism, and procrastination, which one of those do you most often gravitate towards?
What interested me about being a guest here with you today is that I am familiar with all 3 of those things. I think probably perfectionism is of those 3 things. Perfectionism is probably what gets me the most.
So when it comes to perfectionism, a lot of times the idea of putting something out there or creating something, if you're an entrepreneur especially, that has to be just right, or you can't put it out there. It has to be done just so, or you have to put this much time, or it has to look like somebody else's out there that's been doing it for forever. And it's really hugely high expectations that generally aren't reasonable. What would you say to somebody that is thinking about creating something else, whether it's for a new business or a business that they're in, and that's holding them back? What would be your thoughts?
Well, I think to a point, the perfectionism causes procrastination, which I'm sure you also talk about pretty often. But I guess I would just say, just start with something, just get started. You don't have to have a marketing plan before you market to somebody. You don't have to have a logo before you post on social media. You don't have to, gosh, there's all kinds of things that I could say. I got hung up on that when I started my business, my Digital Darcy business in 2019. I spent 3 months making a website and having a logo designed and doing all of these things before I even told one person. I incorporated my business with the state of Minnesota in July. And I don't know, I don't think I told anybody about it until October. So, I mean, I don't want to say I wasted 3 months, but in those 3 months, I could have at least been posting in some Facebook groups or joining the local chamber of commerce, or I could have been doing something. But I was working on that website and getting that logo and trying to get everything perfect before I showed it to anybody. So I guess I would just say, don't do that. Be working on those things. Those things are all important, and get them in place, but don't let it stop you from telling people what you're doing.
Thank you for saying that. I think that is a huge encouragement. I know as a recovering perfectionist myself, that will be the thing that holds me up when I'm creating something new, especially, and I don't feel fully secure that I know what I'm doing. And I think sometimes we think we should be an expert before we've ever even taken the first step as a perfectionist. And again, it's just not reasonable. And so I love that you said, just do it. You can work on those things at the same time, but put yourself out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Is
even
there,
launching my soap shop recently, there's more products I want to make and there's more soap curing on the shelves. But at some point I had to launch the store. Like, there's always going to be a soap curing that I can't wait to tell somebody about. And there's always going to be more ideas. Launch the dang shop. So I did.
Hey there, fabulous female entrepreneurs. Are you ready to take your business game to the next level? Well, I've got some incredible news for you. Have you ever wondered what it's like to work with a business coach who's all about helping you let go of people-pleasing, perfectionism, and procrastination in order to achieve your personal and professional goals? Look no further, because I'm here to help you make your dreams a reality. Picture this: a free 30-minute strategy call together with me. Yep, you heard me right, totally free. It's your chance to tap into my years of expertise and get a taste of what it's like to have a committed and caring business coach by your side. I've had the honor of empowering many female entrepreneurs just like you. Whether you're starting from scratch, feeling a bit stuck, or aiming for the stars, I know the ins and outs of turning ambitions into achievements. Imagine having a mentor who's been there, done that, and is genuinely invested in your success. I've got your back, and I'm ready to share my proven strategies, insider tips, and unwavering support. But here's the catch: this opportunity won't last forever. So if you're serious about smashing your goals and want to experience what it's like to work with a business coach who's all about getting results in a way that is authentic and enjoyable for you, head over to www.pursueprogress.com/podcast now and click on today's episode to go to the show notes and book your free strategy call. That's www.pursueprogress.com/podcast. Your gateway to claiming your free 30-minute strategy call. Seize this chance to unlock your potential, find your purpose, and embark on a journey of growth and success. All right, amazing listener, it's time to make your move. Visit www.pursueprogress.com/podcast. Book your spot and get ready to take that first step toward your wildest dreams. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, I'm here to support you in your goals and dreams. Don't procrastinate. Book your strategy call now and let's make those dreams a reality together.
I love this. My youngest daughter loves making soap. So this is one of her favorite things. And she's like the marketing guru. I think it comes with being a youngest child that she'll put everything out there, whether it's ready or not, and she'll have it out marketed and sold before she's even made the product. And there's something to be said for that kind of confidence. And I mean, it's not that we all have to be perfectly confident and put ourselves out there, but the idea of, I know what I want to do, and I know how I want to serve somebody, so I can tell them how I'm going to serve them, even when the product isn't sitting there in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a different way of looking at things than how I do. But it's a really valid point, because looking back to those memberships I built, I mean, I had video courses ready to go. I had a full PowerPoint outline of slides. I had all the elements in there. I mean, I spent hours and hours and hours making this thing, and the members didn't come. And so, I mean, if I had just sold the members first and made sure that I had 10 people or something that wanted this thing, which I did try to do like a wait list situation, but then I got excited and was like, well, I'm just going to build it. I'll sell it. And back to the wasted time thing, I think making sure that I had members that were going to sign up. I could have done the training in a weekend if I needed to. If I had members that were signed up and ready for it, I could have done the training in a weekend. So it's definitely a good thing to keep in mind, that it definitely doesn't have to be perfect before you start telling somebody about it, or even selling it to someone if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think there's a lot of different ways to go about marketing something. Can we talk a little bit about marketing? Because I think this gets a bad rap. And I think for women especially, I'm generalizing a bit here, but I think for women especially, we often will give everything away and never actually ask for money for something. And yet it is taking our time and our energy and our know-how. And we need to, in every area that we're trying to grow anything that's going to sustain us, we have to be able to market that. We have to be able to know how to put that out there. And coming from marketing, Darcy, what would you say when it comes to needing to get yourself out there in that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be really scary to put yourself out there, and it is overwhelming. We all end up with a list of 100 things that we want to do, and it can be hard to figure out like where to start and what to do first. But regardless of how you're planning to market, it really comes down to just talking to people, I think. And so 99% of the clients that I have right now and that I've had over the last 3 years came from Facebook groups. So it's really important to just remember to talk to people, and I don't mean like sell to people. I mean actually just talk to people and learn about them and what they do, and talk to them about what you do. And the sale part will happen naturally over time in my experience. So I think it's, even when it's hard and even when it's maybe not our first choice to go on a networking call and talk to people, because it's not my first choice, but you have to do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you do it scared.
Mhm.
And the more that you do it, the more it becomes comfortable and natural. That's one of the things that I coach on a lot in my business coaching, is how to close sales in ways that don't feel uncomfortable. Because again, I think for a lot of people, they suddenly put on the sales hat to market their stuff. And in reality, it's just a relationship. It's no different than recommending a movie to a friend. Like, it should feel that comfortable. And I feel sorry for people who are held back by that, because again, I think this is another area of perfection, that you can feel like you have to nail these things and have a script and go to it to really close a sale, when in reality, marketing is just, like you said, it's just having a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I deleted the services page. I'm not recommending this to anyone, just a disclaimer, but about a year ago, in the middle of all of this trying to transition business, I deleted the service page off of my website because I had a full client load, and am grateful for that and had that. And it was like, you know what, I don't want any more leads for done for you marketing. I want to focus on like consulting and coaching and these memberships I'm working on and all of these other things. And so I just deleted my services page, and I get referrals from the people I've met saying, hey, I've got this lead, they want this and this and this, can you help them? So any done for you services that I'm doing now are basically word of mouth because of the people that I've met. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And that just shows the relationship, right? I think
Mhm.
when you have good relationships with your clients, with whoever that you're working with, they are going to recommend you because they know you and they know you're going to take care of other people that they send your way, right?
Yeah.
So for a free gift, I know Darcy is giving us 10 things to make instead of buying pre-made. And I love that as we're coming into the end of the year, because there's lots of different things that you're going to want to give somebody. And sometimes it's just nice to be able to give something that's a little more personal and has your own touch on it. So tell us a little bit about what we're going to see in here, Darcy.
Sure. Well, the free PDF that you're mentioning there is on my Preserving My Sanity blog website. And so when you sign up for my email list, you receive that. Basically, I just put together a list of things that we often buy in the grocery store without even thinking about it, that are easier and healthier if we make them at home. For example, I mean, obviously I make homemade jam. Nobody really does food preservation without making jam, But jam can be really easy to make and you don't have to can it. Some people are like, oh, I don't do canning. I don't have the equipment. Like, you don't have to can it. You could make it, it stays in the fridge for a while. You could freeze it. There's other things on there like waffles. Everybody likes to buy Eggo waffles. What if you made a big batch of waffles and froze them yourself? They're better for your kids. They aren't that hard to make. They last a few weeks to a month or two in the freezer. So things like that, just simple swaps that you can pretty easily make at home. They're healthier and probably save you some money too.
I love that. I love whenever you can do things for yourself that maybe you think is difficult, but then somebody just shows you the way to make it super simple. I love that you mentioned waffles. Today, the day that we're recording is actually National Waffle Day. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, that's funny. No, I did not know that.
Yeah. So the kids and I are already talking about, we're going to do a waffle smorgasbord for dinner, and we make our own. But it is
awesome.
one of those, it's one of those things that's super convenient, especially when you make a big batch, like you said, and freeze them, and then you have them for other times. And so I love anything that's time saving. As a mom, I love anything I can big batch, which is awesome. So this will be a great PDF for everybody to grab. And I recommend just go to the show notes. You'll have the link there. You'll also have all the contact info for Darcy so that you can get to know her, so that you can follow her blog. And if you're thinking, I am not a hands-on, I don't do all these things, the reality is you can always read and just dip your toe in. You don't have to be all out and all in to have benefits from just tweaking some things that you do in your life either.
That's a great point. You don't have to do all the things ever. So that's a really great point. And if the food blog part isn't your thing, there's always the soap shop there as well. So everybody needs soap, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm with you. My youngest would say for sure, everybody needs soap. Everybody should get soap. So connecting with Darcy, like I said, I love that on podcasts. We get to meet people. We get to see what other women are doing. I love when it's other women entrepreneurs who are also discovering what they're loving and their passions. So thank you so much, Darcy, for sharing your journey with us today. I so loved having you on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.